And for those of you who are viewers, welcome back. And for those of you that are new, I'm happy to have you join. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up because it does help to get it moved further up so other people can find it. Of course, subscribe to my channel and leave your comment at the end of the video. Today we're going to be talking about how past sexual trauma can influence your sex life in the present. And there are people that have gone through different types of sexual trauma, and many times they're not sure how to process it later on in life. Sometimes people get help for it early on, which can make a big difference. Other times people live with it or try to put it behind them. But one of the things that I have found, and this is not with everyone, so this really is individual, but I have seen more than my fair share of people who struggle with this, and that is that they are still having some type of a arousal, or they are still thinking about what happened to them, and they are reliving it in some ways in a sexual sense, and then it creates a tremendous amount of shame. And I want to explain this process because I really don't hear many people talking about this part of it. And this is really what I think is the most difficult aspect of trying to have a good, healthy sex life in the future and work through some of these things when at some point your body may have reacted a certain way because of an abuse situation, where the human body will take over, and it doesn't matter what your mind necessarily is thinking. In fact, some people disassociate from the situation depending on what happened and the circumstances. Other times the body, because it protects itself and the body is separate from the mind, the body can react differently. And the body has a memory of things. So if you had an earlier experience, it may actually have caused your body to have a response, an arousal response. And so that response for some people continues as they get older. It doesn't go away. And that brings on a certain amount of shame because they get confused as to how something that was perpetrated onto them in an abuse situation could now be something that they fantasize or think about when they're older. And this is really where the difficulty comes into play. Because again, the body takes over without the mind, and the body uses it to protect itself. And so if the body was used to getting aroused in a certain way, depending on what happened, depending on the point in your life that it happened, then it could get into your sexual pattern. It could be what ultimately turns you on. And I'm just trying to explain that so that people who are struggling with this don't have shame around it, and that other people struggle with the same thing. So where you may have had a particular touch or something done, it could be part now of your sexual pattern as an adult. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that that has to continue, or certain aspects of it can be turned around in your mind, and you can use it in a way that empowers you instead of makes you feel victimized again, because that's the whole part of it. You don't want to feel shame, and you don't want to feel victimized as you move forward into your life and you try to get into a healthy sexual relationship, into a good relationship where it's supposed to be a positive experience. You want to be able to channel that and make it something that brings you pleasure, that feels good, rather than something that is painful or afterwards you're feeling guilty about. Now, for those of you who may not have been in an abusive situation of sexual trauma when you were younger, this may not make much sense. But for those of you that are watching this that have been through it, I think a lot of this will make sense to you, and hopefully it'll help you to start healing and to make you feel better about yourself and understand that you were not playing a role in it. It's something that happened to you, and that as an adult, you can change it. You can change those feelings, and you can definitely work with your sexual pattern and change some of the feelings and behaviors around it. So this is a topic that has many layers to it. And if you feel that this has opened up some new doors for you where you might want to seek some help, it really does, in many ways, help to work through some of it. And this can also affect who you're sexually attracted to in some ways. So you may be aroused by certain aspect of a person's body, or being in a submissive position. So it can affect all of those aspects of sexuality. And so if this has brought on some more questions, it might be good to examine it and get some help if you think you need some help. So I just hope that all of you who have questions, please leave them in the box below. And of course, I also do counseling, and I do have a place on my website where if someone has a question, it's a small fee and they can get that question answered. As you know, I believe everyone deserves to have a healthy sex life, and so do you.